from Parcel Locker and Lockers First. We got our branded shirts on, or sweaters on. That's amazing. So good to see you all. It's day 2 here in Leaders in Logistics in Brussels, where I would say that a lot of people who are like the persons to talk with, they're here, and it's such an exciting event. We see 1,000 people meeting up almost, so it's a good event. What has the first day brought to you here, Andre?
Maybe for me the most interesting thing is actually what not what I heard, but what I did not heard, and this is a lot of talk about AI.
Yeah.
Because last year and in the beginning of the year, many industry events were concentrating on AI mainly. But this is not the talk of the town this time, at least here. So I don't know. Maybe this is a sign that everybody is still working on, and the hype cycle is sort of over, and now we are deploying, or something else. But this was one thing that stood out for me the most. The second thing, and I'm actually very pleased on that, is definitely that we are talking mainly about out-of-home delivery and locker delivery. So this is extremely nice to hear from me, especially who is fond of lockers. So those two things maybe is the most important.
Yeah, I agree that these are important topics. And maybe on the locker there, yesterday we talked about that we released one report about cross-border. But we actually also, yesterday afternoon, we released a report about the UK market, the first market report about that. And of course, there's a lot of cross-border activities also from the UK, but a lot of it is also about the fact that we see that the out-of-home is actually also picking up in the UK. And one of the things that we see, you know that, Andre, because you make like the pricing, the Tempe delivery index once in a while, and look at the pricing. And we also see that in the UK, that of course that the out-of-home options are much cheaper to handle than private or home deliveries as well. So that is for the consumer. And I think that will still drive this. And when we walk around the hallway here, some of the things that we see is a lot of out-of-home options present.
UK market is probably one of the most fascinating ones. 3 years ago, nobody was hinting that out-of-home can be something, although InPost has been there for years already, and Jeep has entered also. But now UK market has been turning into the real battleground of lockers, and recently, a few weeks ago only, every announced cooperation with Blockit to deploy next lockers, next series lockers to UK. So yes, this is definitely most interesting to watch what is happening in UK, and one thing that this is interesting what happens to UK. The other thing is that for me, the UK market is sort of catalysts to two even bigger markets. One in Germany and the other is US. Because those markets are still waiting for the out-of-home sort of breaking into the logistics seriously.
Yeah, I think you're right. One question I have for you, Andre, then, one of the things that we see when we look at the UK market, we still see a lot of white labeling, as we see in some other markets in Europe. But when the competition picks up, and also a lot of the players, they would like to show that now we are with, we're branded in the checkout, because we want to make sure, whether it's InPost or whatever it is, that the consumer knows what they get. Would you imagine that process, and we've seen that in many countries, would you imagine the same process to happen in the UK, that we move away from white labeling and more towards branded delivery solutions in the checkout?
Absolutely, I think this is the must-have change. Those markets has to be doing, and for me this is sort of So far, mainly home delivery has been anonymous service, non-branded service from retailers to the customers. Customers has no say about the price, the delivery method, the delivery time, anything. Everything has been done by the shipper or the retailer, and and now the change is going to be that delivery is going to be productized, and delivery is going to be a standalone product with its brand, its values, and also its price, so that customers can take the sort of conscious decision what is the best solution for them. So for me, we are turning, or we are moving last mile delivery from B2B service to B2C product.
Yeah.
Customers, first of all, they buy the product from the e-shop, and then they sort of purchase additionally delivery on that.
Yeah. Another thing, tomorrow back home in Copenhagen, I'll actually be joining a B2B conference and explaining about some of the things that we see here at Tempe and how we analyze the market on the B2B. I've actually met quite a few people here that are also thinking about how does B2B move and mimic what we've seen on e-commerce and B2C the recent years. So that's our hypothesis. What do you think about that? Will the B2B space? I know you also have office locker, but that's partly something else. But do you see the B2B space as something that will try to mimic what we've seen in the B2C?
Yes and no. Definitely, what we see there, what we see a need of the handover automation, and that's why for that lockers are good, because when we're talking about the delivery, B2B delivery, then what comes to the smaller and medium-sized parcels, this is still man-made, and this is delivered to the office. So what we see is sort of click and collect lockers are installed in front of every business house or production house, so that these B2B deliveries can be delivered to the locker. So this is a little bit different system, because the locker is owned by the recipient and operated by the recipient, but still it is automation, handover automation, because what is the most expensive part in the delivery is usually when two humans need to meet in the same time in the same place. This is the most costly part. So if you can automate this one using this locker instead of that, then this is a big win for the B2B. But again, B2B localization is a bit different than B2C.
Yes. You mentioned this about AI, that we are not hearing much about that. And as you know, I one of those that think that it is really important, especially when we talk about the agentic and the protocols. And I'm actually thinking, based on this, is there a risk for some of the European players here if they're not working on this under the hood? And I'm saying that because when we talked about white labeling before, it's been something that you could do. But in the future, you and I, we will buy something online, and then we want it to be delivered, whenever it fits our personal calendar. And it might be Thursday evening because we need it Friday morning. And this means that if that is not available on the site when the consumer go in, then the agent will simply just pass on to something else. And this means that the logistics partners here, they would also need to submit that information in a protocol format that is easy to read for the agent. And that's actually one of the things that strikes me a bit. Nobody talks about it here. Everybody talks about it in retail. So what do you think is going on?
Again, I think that the retail is much more computer literate, in a sense that they are using the e-shops setup is very tech savvy already. The logistics part of the business is using much more robust IT structures, and I think that the adoption is not there yet, but it will go. It will go there.
Yeah.
We have this. Google has introduced this UCP, Universal Commerce Protocol.
Yeah.
So what I see is we need universal delivery protocol, because this is exactly the same, mimicking the logistics data exchange needs. But it will come. It will definitely come.
And then the question is that we don't know, is there any of the larger networks that are working on a phantom project that nobody, or stealth project that nobody knows about now, and then one day they release it and then they break through and they smash everyone else? Or will we see it from more players at once? It's actually going to be exciting to see. I don't know the answer, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what will be happening in that arena.
Yeah, but you can take a look on the AI developments now. OpenAI started with a big bang 3 years ago, and it didn't took a lot than Anthropic and Google came into the play, and now we have hundreds, if not thousands, of LLM projects. Everybody is developing. Almost into in the same speed. So this is I think this is the nature of the open markets and open competition. Yes, you can be first, you can be first mover, you can have first mover advantage, but today's world, the copy paste is so easy to be done, and it will be catched up very quickly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, exciting to see what we're going to get out of the rest of the day. It's been a pleasure talking to you today here, Andre, as always. And for everyone that listened out there, have a good Leaders in Logistics or a good day at home, and catch you soon.
Thank you, Christian. Happy to be here.
Bye.